What's up, everyone? Welcome to yet another episode of Unfiltered Immigration. And today's topic is the state of the Eagle Act, uh, HR6542, S3291. So, in today's episode, I will be discussing what it takes to pass the bill according to my understanding and what we can do to help this bill reach the finish line. And if you are new to this channel, if you don't know anything about the green card backlog, this channel, just a little brief overview is that this channel is dedicated to raising the awareness on discriminations against high skilled workers based on their country of birth. So if you don't know that right now United States, even skill based immigration, they prioritize based on the country of birth. And why that's wrong is because they don't have this country cap when it comes to student visa, work visa. So they don't mind getting the best of the best students and workers regardless of where they come from. But once they are here, their growth and their freedom depends on where they are born. So there are like more than 1 million high school immigrants right now in the green card backlog who came here based on the merit, but now they are stuck in this green card backlog just based on their country of birth, which is so wrong. But it's also hurting America. And if you want to know how bad it is, like you can see, so this is like kind of like a visa bulletin they produce, the State Department produces. Let me see if you cannot see the screenshot. But yeah, so this is the visa bulletin which State Department publishes every month. And this is from April's visa bulletin. And if you see that this is the employment based category and the first category, second, third. What means that the first category is the highest skilled workers. These are called Einstein visa, right? And if you see that the people who born in India, even whose immigration petition is approved in the EB1 category, in the Einstein visa category, they are getting the green card if they filed in March 2021, right? But if you see that the first column is for the rest of the world, so other than this four country, if you see that the third category, which also includes people who are unskilled, right? Sometimes it's like that category has like some requirement like bachelor degree and some experience, but it also includes 10,000 green cards for unskilled immigrants. So in that category, the wait time is less than the EB1 of India. And if you see that the EB2 category, the people who are born in the rest of the world, they are getting within a year. Meanwhile, India, people born in India is like waiting since 2012. And it doesn't move linearly, which means that if you apply today and get approved today, your wait time is more than 100 years, right? So we are talking about the bill which fixes this immigration. Instead of prioritizing based on the country of birth, it will make it based on purely on the merit. So that will remove the country cap, eliminate country cap. If I say it has like a 9 years period, so it will eliminate the country cap and it will allocate the green cards based on the priority dates rather than the country of birth. Whoever got qualified and approved will get it first rather than someone based on their country of birth, right? I'll talk about what it takes to pass a bill as per my understanding and what we can do to prioritize this bill that it reaches the finish line, right? And the reason why we need to focus more on advocacy is because like if you following me on Twitter, you might have read my tweet today, right? That there is a executive order to update the skill-based immigration, and now executive orders are issued by president, by admins, so they can like change little bit of immigration, but they cannot change the laws. What it means that the executive branch, the president or USCIS, they cannot remove the country cap because it's law, but they can update the qualification criteria and those kind of things. So those are the things happening right now, is that because of the executive order, recently the Schedule A is the category which doesn't require POM, which is like one of the very important step of the green card. So in that, you don't need POM. So your wait time to get the green card, like to get the approved for green card, it's, or like to get your I-140 approved, is significantly reduced if your qualification comes under Schedule A. So they just updated it recently. What it means that you will get your I-140 sooner if you are in that category. So what it means that if you are not from this backlog country, you will get your green card much faster, but more people will qualify. Right now, before it was harder for some people, but now it's easier for some folks if they come into this category to get their 140. And if you are not from this backlog country, then you get your green card faster. But what it means that if you are from this backlog country, especially from India, then your wait time increases, right? You will get your I-140, so you might be able to renew your H-1B and that kind of stuff. But the wait time doesn't change. You still get into that India line, which is more than 100 years right now. But what it means that the quota is limited, right? The quota every year is 140,000. You might get some spillover from family based, but that quota is limited as well. So when these people are now qualifying easily, what it means is that the people who would have gotten green card faster, if this hasn't changed, now that wait time will increase, right? Because like people who can qualify for 140, it's now like little easier than it has been if there is no change, right? So what I'm trying to say that this kind of change, either a liberal administration is there or conservative administration is there, as long as these country caps are there, it's bad for us, right? So if you think about it, if they make the qualification criteria lower, then more people will be able to qualify and get their green card faster if they are not from this backlog country. But what if the admin comes, which is like very strict? They cannot change the law, but they can like tell USCIS that be very strict when you are approving this applications. What that means is that when you apply for your H-1B, then there will be like strict scrutiny. And sometimes if you have seen in the past year, like I guess 2018 and 19, the H-1B rejection rate skyrocketed, like from 3% to I think it went to 37%. And a lot of people got stuck in India while they were like traveling, and their extension was pending and they didn't got the extension. And then even if you are here, then if your H-1B gets rejected, you are immediately out of status and you have to travel outside of the country. Maybe you will be able to find a new employer, get your H-1B and come back, but that's a lot of complication involved with that kind of. So right, either administration changes, the executive branch changes, either way, I think that as long as this country caps are there, we will be hurt, right? Because we are not getting what we are approved for just based on the country of birth, and that needs to change, right? So that's why we need to focus on this thing as much as we can. And I think that anytime we want to change something, there are two parts of that, right? That the overall awareness is important. That's what my focus is on, that increasing this overall awareness, that the more people who becomes aware that this is something wrong. And because United States prioritize skill-based immigration based on the country of birth, it is hurting America, right? As soon as we raise this awareness, then there is a more pressure on the policymaker to change this. Otherwise, if not many people are aware, there will be like very little pressure on them to act on it. So that's what my focus on. But the other part is reaching out to this policymakers as well, right? Reaching out to your representative, reaching out to your senators, and that's equally important. So we all should be doing both, right? And which I'm doing as well. And this is the other part which I'm going to talk about, that how you can narrow your focus to get this bill to the finish line. So the bill, now some people will say that why this bill, right? That right now, if you see, we are in 118th Congress. If you don't know, Congress lasts for 2 years. This Congress started, I guess, in January 2023, and it will last until January 2025. So we have like probably 8 or 9 more months left in this Congress, and this is 118th Congress. There are multiple bills which tries to improve the immigration, right? Just to name few, that there is a registry bill, then there is a HR 1535 which recaptures the lost green cards. The bill we are talking about is HR6542. And some might have a question, right, that why we are prioritizing this particular bill. The reason, there are multiple reasons. One reason is that the registry bill is great bill, but if you see the co-sponsor in that bill, there are 0 Republican co-sponsors, which means that it's not bipartisan, and I think that according to my understanding, it has very less likely of becoming a law, because well, let's not go too much into the detail, but it's like it's not bipartisan. Another bill is HR 1535, which can help significantly if it is passed as it is to the people in the backlog. But we need to narrow down focus to this bill, which is called HR6542, because there is that's the only immigration bill, as far as I know, which is already in the House and Senate both, right? So this other bill, as far as I know, they are only introduced in the House. This bill is already on the House and Senate both. But also for us, there is significant advocacy efforts are already going towards this bill. So if we like narrow down our focus to this particular bill, then it will help us then dividing our focus, right? Because HR 1535, there is not a lot of advocacy efforts are going, but HR 6542, there is significant amount of advocacy efforts are going already going on. So if we can just like join this, then that will help us to push this bill further, right? And just a disclaimer is that this bill, kind of like the same bill but the different version, has been in the Congress since 2008. If you need a history on all of those bills, I think that I have left the link in the description, which is called eagelect.info, which talks about all the history about this bill in the each Congress, right? So this bill has been around since 2008. Particularly speaking about me, this is the last Congress I'm going to support this bill. I won't be against it if it doesn't pass in this Congress and if it is introduced in the next Congress, but I won't be advocating for this bill. If you want to know why, I have already done a video on that when this bill got originally introduced in the Congress. The link of that video I have also left in the description. Initially I talked about that this is a good bill, this is not a great bill, or this is not a bad bill. It's a good bill. It improves the immigration, especially the skill-based immigration. It improves the immigration. So I like this bill, but there are certain aspects I don't like as well, which I have already talked about in that video, so I'm not gonna go into detail right now. But we need to, in this Congress, we need to give our best efforts for this bill. The two major, if you are not familiar about this, the main thing it does is that it eliminates the country cap as we know it over a 9-year period, and it also does is that you can, once your priority date is 2 years old, everyone can file change of status. Everyone will not get the green card, but what it means that 2 year passes, you can file the change of status, which means that you will start getting the interim benefits, which means that you will get your EAD and AP, which is a huge relief for many people, right? That if you don't want to maintain your H1B, then you won't have to. But also it means that let's say that once you file your change of status, I-485, as far as I know, 6 months passes, then if you change the employer, you don't have to start the entire process again. There is just one form you have to submit. So that's a huge relief, right now if you change the job, then you have to do this entire process again, even 140 perm, all that things. So that will be like huge relief to many, right? So it significantly increases the skill-based immigration, which is a great thing. All right, now this bill, if you know, it's already in the House and Senate, right? And let me share the screenshot where it is. The House version is called Immigration, Visa Efficiency and Security Act of 2023, HR6542. The Senate version, it's called Eagle Act. Why it's not called Eagle Act in the House? Because Eagle Act name was already taken in this Congress. So I guess that's why they are calling it. But we all know as the Eagle Act, and in this Congress, in the Senate version, it is still called Eagle Act. So it's in the House and Senate both. But one thing I have noticed that there is no momentum on the Senate side. Originally there were 3 co-sponsors and it hasn't increased at all. In the House, I think that originally there were 3 co-sponsors, but right now there are 32. So there is a momentum is good on the House side. So if we narrow down our focus to the House side, that would be good. That let's get it passed in the House side and then we can focus on Senate side. Now if you are like highly motivated person and you have a lot of time and energy, and if you want to focus on both sides, you can definitely do that. But this is for the people who have limited time and energy, and if they want to narrow down their focus, then they can focus on the House version. That would be helpful right now. If you want to reach out to your senator, please do that. If you want to write to the White House as well, even though this is like a judicial matter, White House can significantly support this bill as well, writing to the Congress, right? So if you want to reach out to them, that's great as well. But I want to narrow down my focus to the House version because I think that I am seeing some momentum there. So that's why I'm gonna focus on House version more. Now what we should advocate for, right? We need to get more co-sponsors, but this is one of the thing I have heard people talk about, that why we need to focus on getting co-sponsors, right? The bill gets passed even without a 0 co-sponsors, which I agree. I haven't seen, but as far as my understanding, bill can pass without 0 co-sponsors as long as one primary sponsor is there. They introduce the bill to the Congress, and if that comes to the voting floor for somehow, and if everyone favors, I think it's 2/3 majority, if the votes are there, that can pass. But here what is happening with our bill is that it's right now in the as we call it, refer to the House Committee on the Judiciary. I will talk about what that means, but like right now it's stuck in this committee, and the bills in the Congress, as far as I know, they are not prioritized first in first out basis as well, right? They prioritize the bill as per there is a pressure to act on that bill to give you this example that recently, as of recording this video, this weekend, the bill on funding Ukraine and Israel that got passed, even though it got introduced much later, right? That it hasn't been too long. But there is a significant pressure on the Congress to pass those bill or act on those bill, and that's why they got passed or at least got voted on, right? So the bills are not like if when this Congress started, this was the first bill introduced in the Congress, they should act on it. It's not like that. It's purely, as far as my understanding, it's focused based on the pressure they have from people or from the advocacy groups to act on it. They will prioritize those bills. So saying that, what it means that when there are more co-sponsors, that means that there are more people reaching out to different policy makers and they are co-sponsoring these bills. And when the bill has more and more co-sponsors, then this committee which is like gonna review this bill, there is a pressure on them to act on this bill, review this bill, and push it to the next phase. Next phase is like voting or whatever that is, right? So yeah, it can pass without zero co-sponsors, but right now, if only thing we can do is that work on getting this co-sponsor. So the more co-sponsor it has, then there is some more pressure on the committee to review this bill first and send it to the next phase, which is, I guess, it's a voting, right? Now, if you people were like, okay, we need to get the co-sponsors, which co-sponsor we should get, right? That which co-sponsors we should focus on, or which representative we should focus on to getting that co-sponsorship. I think that the first one you should reach out to is that your representative. If you are living in the United States, based on your zip code, you have a representative in the House. I have left the link in the description as well. If you need to find who your representative is, if you put your zip code there, it will tell you that this is your representative. And I think that everyone should reach out to their representative first, unless you see that they have already co-sponsored. Then I'll tell you that who to reach out to. But right now, like, say that if they haven't co-sponsored, then reach out to them, because every representative, every House member, they're gonna prioritize issue of their constituents, right? That if you are living in their district, they're gonna prioritize their issue first. So that will be like most effective, that if you reach out to your representative, then they're gonna listen to you more. So like look up their zip code and reach out to them first. Like if you need help with reaching out, I have left some of the resources there, so you can find easily their phone number. You can call them and ask them to co-sponsor this bill, help explain what the issue is, help explain that how they can resolve it, how this bill can help, right? So you can call them. Otherwise, the Area 51 cast, if you know them, they have already created this resist board petition which you can sign. So if you sign that petition, if you provide your zip code there, what it does is that it sends the letter to the president, but also your representative based on your zip code, and also your senators based on your zip code. That each state has 2 senators, so it will send out this letter to all of them supporting them. So that's the easiest way to take action. If you don't want to sign the petition, if you are someone who likes writing the actual letter or email, then I have also provided the link of the template of the email you can send. You can write your own email, you don't need the template. But if someone wants the template, there is a link in the description as well, which you can use that template to create the email to send out to your representative. And so use that template. Now talking about which co-sponsors we should focus on. First is your which representative to focus on. First is yours, right? But what if they have already co-sponsored, or what if they haven't co-sponsored, you are already talking to them but you want to do more. This is a federal issue, so you are not limited to your representative as well. You can reach out to any representative since it's a federal issue. So either your representative you are already talking to and you need more representative to talk to, or like let's say your representative has said that for whatever reason they cannot co-sponsor. Who are the other representative to focus on? So let me share this. Who are the current co-sponsors right now? Okay, I hope you can see my screen. So this is HR6542, the bill we are talking about right now. There are 32 co-sponsors, 17 Democrats, 15 Republicans, which is a huge sign, right? That 15 Republicans, what it means that last time, if you, I'll share the link of the last bill as well, but in the last Congress, in the 117th Congress, if you have seen that even at the end of the Congress, there were only 8 Republicans. We are almost a double Republican co-sponsors in this cycle, so that's great. Democrats are less, but we have still some time left. So hopefully we can focus on that and get more co-sponsors. So this is the link of this is also in the description. These are the people who are already co-sponsored. So these are the list of the 32 co-sponsors, and these are the few people who are already in the Judiciary Committee where it's gonna get reviewed. So which representative to focus on, right? I think that if we get this is the Judiciary Committee where the bill is getting reviewed. They are the chair, Jim Jordan, and Judiciary Ranking Member Gerald Nadler. If we get their co-sponsorship, then it will become very easy to move this bill. But I also say that it will be like very hard to get their co-sponsorship, right? This is the Judiciary Committee. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but on this first left-hand column, you can see that they have co-sponsored or not as well. So this Kelly Armstrong, she is on the Judiciary Committee and they have already co-sponsored. Then again, Jefferson, Van Drew has already co-sponsored, but these are the other people who has not co-sponsored yet on the Judiciary Committee. So if we what we can do is that let me share the other link as well to give the better idea. Okay, now what you are looking at is the same bill in the last Congress. This is 117th Congress, and these are some of the judiciary members who co-sponsored it, right? So what basically it means that they have previously co-sponsored the same bill in the past, so it would be very easy to get their co-sponsorship. So if you want to focus on these people who has already co-sponsored this bill in the past from the Judiciary Committee, you can pick these people, right? That you can see that this Gerald Nadler, he in the past co-sponsored. So you can start reaching out to them, say that, oh, this is the same bill which you sponsored in the last Congress. If you can co-sponsor in this Congress, that would be great. Provide the more details if they need, but this, like all this, Louis Correa, Steve Cohen, all these people who has co-sponsored in the past, you can start reaching out to them, and if they co-sponsor, that would make our job easy to move this bill further. There will be like more momentum, right? That one more co-sponsor means that it is more pressure on the Judiciary Committee to prioritize this bill. So look at the previous bill. I have left the link of the both the bill of the previous Congress, this Congress, and if they have co-sponsored in the past, that means that it would be easier to get that co-sponsorship in this Congress. So you can start reaching out to them. It does not mean that if they were co-sponsored in the last Congress, they are still serving in this Congress. They might have retired, they might have not get elected in this Congress, but most of the people, as far as I know, are there. So like you can start reaching out to them. Now you don't only have to reach out to the judiciary member, right? It's nice if we get that co-sponsorship, but you also have to think about that what are the some of the people who would be very easy to get their co-sponsorship. Just to give you one example, that I know that Rab Thanedar is a great supporter of removing this country cap uh, or solving this green card backlog to helping out the skilled immigrants, right? But Rab Thanedar hasn't co-sponsored the Eagle Act yet. So we can start reaching out to them. It would be very easy to get his co-sponsorship, and even though he is not on the judiciary committee, if we get his co-sponsorship, then the number increases and the pressure on the judiciary committee to act on this bill increases, right? That, oh, there are like more co-sponsors on this bill, so there are more member of the house who are supporting this bill, so we need to prioritize this bill. So you also have to think about who are the easiest people you know that they would support this bill, who would support to make the immigration fair, right? So you can start think, be creative depending on your time. Reach out to your representative first, and then if that's not for whatever reason is the case, then think about all this alternative. Try prioritizing people who has sponsored in the past but who are like easier to get their co-sponsorship. Now I have suggested some ways that you can do this, that you can sign the resist board petition, you can send them email. As far as my advocacy, when you just send the email once, you will get the boilerplate response. They have like a fixed response, you will get it. Sometimes you won't even get that as well, right? Because this bill is very important to me, but there are like, as far as I know, there are more than 500 bills in the Congress. They are getting the emails about all those bills. So if you just email them, it's better than doing nothing. But if you want to do more, then you might not get the proper response for this bill. What you can do is that call them, call their office, tell them, hey, I emailed you, I haven't received the response. Then they probably won't know which email you are talking about. You, while you are on the phone, send the email again that this is the email. So then they will see that, okay, this is the email you are talking about, and they will say that, okay, we'll review it and we'll reach out to you. So then there will be like you will get the proper response. If you don't get the response in the 2-3 days, then reach out to again. Then if they try to like schedule a meeting with them, and you don't have to go to their office if you are living in the DC area, or if you can go to their office in your area, great. But you can request the meeting over Zoom. So their staff, you're not going to talk, most probably you're not going to talk to the rep himself, but he has staff dedicated to different departments. So they have like a staff who focuses on policies related to immigration as well, many times, and they will be happy to talk to you over Zoom. You might be able to explain this issue in the detail, and you might have better chances of getting the co-sponsorship that way, right? So you can do all these things depending on your time and depending on your comfort zone. But what we need to do is that we need to increase this advocacy efforts, so we give the best shot in this Congress, because this bill has introduced since November, December. Now it's already, we are in April, we only have like 8 months left. So if we prioritize this bill, hopefully this gets in the House in 3-4 months. So then we also have to focus on the Senate version as well. So hopefully we can increase our advocacy efforts significantly and get this co-sponsors because this bill has been there for a long time, and fortunately it would be like easy if we it would be easy to get this co-sponsorship if we increase our advocacy efforts. So please do that. Let me see the comments. If you does anyone has any can we get this issue on one of the nightly shows, especially John Oliver, so everyone has more awareness of the issue? Okay, that's great question. So I guess that how to get this issue on the John Oliver show, which I am not familiar with, but the any show, right? That what if we are talking about John Oliver show, then I think that we are talking about traditional media. This won't be the only way to get the issue on that show, but what the traditional media does wants is a story. If you have an amazing story, if something big happens, then they need a story because they want to keep their viewers engaged, right? So if we start talking about something dry on that show, then they not audience their viewership will decrease, so they need something which is very interesting. So if we do something which is very highly out of ordinary, which creates the story, then it would be easy to pick up by this John Oliver show, or like many different shows will pick it up. If it is like something cute, if it is something out of extraordinary, which creates a good story, then that's the organic way to do that. Otherwise, another way would be like writing to John Oliver constantly that this is something and this is can help you. So that's another way. A lot of people has talked about like buying what we call television advertisement as well, right? So that's something we can do as well, but that requires significant coordinated efforts to raise that money and spend that money, which I don't have bandwidth to do right now, maybe in the future. But if someone wants to do that, that's great. But this is what I have talked about so far. It's like very easy to do. Anyone can do it. It doesn't require significant coordinated efforts or raising of funds or anything like that. So this is we should all do. And if we need to do anything on the top of that, if someone is motivated to, like, let's say Kedar, if you are like highly motivated to put this thing on the John Oliver show, and if you think that that can help to bring this change, then maybe to start a campaign around that, and people will support you. They're not gonna support you, not everyone will support, but you will find some support, and then you will like start explaining that why this is important, and then more and more people will join, and maybe like you might find success, you might not, but it's good that I always talk about like focusing on action, not the outcome, because we can only control our action, we can't control outcome as well, and we need to take action regardless, because if we don't do anything, then it's like highly likely that this issue will be resolved soon. So good question. If there are any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, if you anyone who has stuck around for until now, I appreciate that, right? That these are the live stream, which the recording always stays there, but I appreciate you everyone who is like watching live. So we get this feedback, and it's a nice way to interact as well. If you don't have anything to comment about, I was thinking about how we can help to reach this live stream to more people. But even when the video is posted on the YouTube, how you can help. If you comment on this, that can help to reach this people, reach to more people organically, right? And if you don't have anything to write, the one thing I recently discovered that people comment this CFBR. And I was like, what is that thing? And they're like commenting for better reach. So you can comment CFBR as well, right? So what that means is that you are commenting for a better reach. So just comment something like that, CFBR, if you don't have anything to comment on the live stream or on the video when it is posted. All right, the last thing I wanted, okay, one more thing. If we can get this issue onto the podcast that they see people listen to most, together support in India, explain how NRIs help the NRI and investment against appreciation by currency remittance. Yes, yeah, that's a great point as well, right? So I'm all about raising awareness, and this is what you're talking about. Pavneet is like raising awareness, which is like significantly important. If you have any people who are doing this kind of podcast, I know that many people listen to, they might have some connection. Talk to them that they cover this issue. We have people. I'm willing to talk to anyone, right? So if anyone wants me on the podcast, I'll go and shed the light on this issue. But if not, I am, if they want to research on their own and want to do the podcast or a video on this, that's beneficial as well. So reach out to more people, right? People who are in USA, they need to get this info. Almost none is aware. Yeah, exactly, and that's why I did my campaign as well. So yeah, I am gonna do, my focus is, primary focus is always going to remain to raise this awareness as much as we can, to make more and more people aware about this issue in the green card backlog, and also American people who can vote. So more awareness is there, then there is more pressure on the policymaker to act on this. All right, the last thing I wanted to talk about is the event which I have come across. I have left the link of that event in description as well, which is called, what is the name of the event? Basically, it's the advocacy training event, and it's a 3-day event. Today there is going to be significant training by professional that how this advocacy are done. It's happening in the Washington DC, and the third day is a practical day. What it means that we will go to the hill, to the offices of this different representative, and we will be able to practice what we learn. So if anyone is interested in joining that event, I have left the link in the description. It seems like a great event, that 2 days, it's a lot of these things which we don't know about, that how to make our advocacy very efficient. Then there will be training on that for 2 days by the people who has a lot of experience, but the third day we will be able to go out and practice what we learn, right? So that's a great event. I am going there. Also, there is a registration fee is $475, so I am doing a fundraiser as well. So even if I don't get the fund, I'm gonna go to this event, because this issue is very important to me, and that's why I have done my whole campaign with my own money, traveling to all the 50 states. But I have also spent significant amount of money on that. So I'm still gonna go to this event with my own money if I don't raise any fund. But if anyone wants to support to raise this fund, then I have also created a GoFundMe campaign, which I have left the link in the description as well. So if you want to support in that, raising the fund for that event, for me going to that event, then there is a link. I will appreciate that if you support, because that will help me to do more and more events like this. Or maybe like if I find something else which is going to help our cause but requires significant amount of money, then that kind of support will always help. So this is for this specific event, and that will enable me to do more events or more things like that, which helps our cause, right? So that event is 3 days, which means that I will have to take 3 days of my personal time off, which I can use for anything else, right? But I'm gonna dedicate towards advocating for this cause. Good thing is that I am already living in the DC area, so I don't need to travel or get the lodging and that kind of stuff. So it's one thing nice about me living that. So I'm gonna go attend this advocacy, and then on the third day I'm gonna meet all this representative advocating about this particular bill which I just talked about, right? So I'll try to get the more co-sponsorship, and that won't end there, because I'm in the living in the DC area. I'll continue going and meeting this different representative based on what I learned. So, hey Sandeep, great to see you. Sandeep is a friend of mine. I know him from India, so good to see him. Anyways, so yeah, if anyone wants to join that event, you are welcome to. It would be a great training and networking opportunity, and we'll learn a lot of things. This is something we are all like technical people, but this has been forced upon us to become advocate. Without this advocacy, we won't get the things we have been approved for, right? So now if we have become advocate, then it's important that we become the efficient advocate, right? So if anyone wants to join, you are welcome to. If anyone wants to support me, if they cannot join, they are welcome to as well. But regardless, I appreciate every one of you who join online, and who anyone who are like watching later or supporting me in any way possible. I appreciate that. I appreciate your advocacy. Keep up the good work, and hopefully we can get this bill to the finish line this year, so we can all go back to doing our job or doing whatever things we are good at, with the freedom to do what we want, right? So that's important. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week with a new topic. If you have any questions or comments or suggestion to improve this live stream, please let me know. That is, you have link of my social media. You can reach out to me on Twitter or leave it in the comments, so we can improve these things and get to our solution faster. All right, take care.